Finally, the escape from Egghead has truly begun, but it came at a very high cost, and another D has been revealed. Let's discuss everything about One Piece Chapter 1120 after the intro. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. It's time to analyze and theorize about Chapter 1120. But before we start, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Now let's get into the video. Well, we are on volume 10 of Yamato's stories, and this is a direct continuation of the previous part, where Yamato was hit with stones on the head. We see here that Denjiro ended up putting the children in some kind of net. I wonder which retainers gained any new positions. This scene also shows that the current government of Wano is concerned about not letting the cycle of hatred continue to propagate, remembering that what created Orochi was exactly this cycle of hatred. The fight in Wano is not over yet, and Yamato's relationship will be very important now. It's also cute to see Yamato kind of waving her hand, as if asking the daimyo of Kibi not to be so hard on the children. Now, moving on to the chapter, it starts by showing a Punk Hazard still with plenty of forests because we are in a flashback. Did anyone else notice that this skull above the gate of Punk Hazard is very similar to Onigashima? Then we see Clover and Vegapunk talking. 26 years ago, Clover invites Vegapunk to help him with research on the Void Century. Clover needs knowledge from other areas. I believe Clover had already concluded that the Ancient Kingdom had superior technology, and Vegapunk would be perfect for that part. Unfortunately, the scientist, who still had his giant head, refused since he had been recruited by the world government. Vegapunk says that Clover should still be free because the government wanted to use him to find his companions. However, what caught my attention here was Vegapunk saying again that it's impossible to know who was right or wrong in the past. But as if responding to this, Clover said, "A man was killed in front of me just because he carried the name D." Clover says he lied to save his skin about this man being his friend, but in fact, he was his brother, so he was also a D Clover. And well, this is another addition to the D family, and I start to wonder if the Ds are something similar to the 12 Apostles of Jesus, with the Marshall family being the family of the traitor, just like Judas. Today, we have 9 confirmed D families. 1, the Monkey family. 2, the Goal family. 3, the Portgas family. 4, the Nefertari family. 5, the Marshall family. 6, the Jaguar family. 7, the Trafalgar family. 8, the Rocks family. 9, and now the Clayom family. Now, researching this name, Clayom is an Irish word that means sword. In Irish folklore, there are several references to legendary swords called Clayom Solace, or Sword of Light. These swords are often associated with heroes and mythical warriors, and are believed to possess magical powers or special qualities that distinguish them from ordinary swords. As a symbol, we can say it represents the victory of light over darkness. See that this name Clayom directly confronts Vegapunk's question, who still doesn't know who was right or wrong in the past. Another interesting thing is that in the old images of Nika, he carries a sword. Could Oda have just borrowed this name from a Celtic legend, or will there be some development about it? Another thing I wonder is, was Clover really the one who wanted to research the Void Century, or was his brother the one who sought the truth, and Clover inherited his will? In the end, Vegapunk turns his back on Clover, and Clover says that's okay, he'll discover it on his own, because he can hear the voice from the past. I found this final line from Clover interesting. Would it be just a metaphor, maybe for the poneglyphs that they might have the knowledge, or could Clover, being a D, also hear the voice of all things? Then shortly after, still in Punk Hazard, we hear an excited Caesar clown talk about the Buster Call on Ohara. With Robin's poster in hand, Vegapunk says that one person still survived, and then Vegapunk talking about Clover having had time to escape. Were the books really that important? And then back to the present, in Vegapunk's transmission to the eyes of Zeph, the wretched of Tequila Wolf, and a crying Robin, he draws a parallel to Doflamingo's words. Vegapunk's words, "History is something that the winners transmit. The voices of those sunken losers have become terribly silent." Doflamingo's words, "Justice will prevail, you say? Of course it will. Whoever wins this war will become justice. Then we move to the Sunny, and here, off-screen somehow, Zoro and Jinbei manage to fend off Gorosei Venushuru, and they are close to setting sail. But Lilith says that with the Gorosei on their tail, the coup de burst could fail if they somehow get hit by Venushuru. So we see what Atlas meant in the last chapter. She appears there and gives Lilith a big punch to knock out Vegapunk. Then a click is heard because Atlas disconnected Lilith from the Punk Records connection, making York immediately think that Lilith was eliminated. Atlas then tells the Straw Hats to take care of Lilith. She will hold off the Gorosei so they can escape, and I'll make a more specific video about Lilith joining the crew. Here it is, very suggestive that yes, Vegapunk will stay on the Sunny, but there was a final line from Venushuru that still worries me. But for now, Lilith joining the crew is more real than ever. Then, Atlas throws herself at Nushuru using her jetpack. In this part, I really liked Jinbei's attitude. It was not the time to lament, to think about why Atlas was doing that. They just needed to do the coup de burst and get out of there. Zoro agrees with the crew's helmsman and asks Brook to hurry up. It's not the first time that Jinbei has managed to play the role of reason amidst feelings. Jinbei's cold calculation was an incredible addition to the crew, and now in the core of Elbaf's ship, funny scene, the Marines can't believe their eyes. Giant bird, giant boar, now a robot. What madness is this? Vice Admiral Hold there says no one told him about this. And then the long-awaited encounter, Luffy and Emeth, and the ancient robot only calls Luffy Joy Boy, who is happy to fight for him once again. But Luffy looks back. Who are you talking to? Could it be the heartbeats that confuse the robot? Or is Luffy extremely similar to Joy Boy? Or will that theory of Luffy going back in time and ending up being Joy Boy actually come true? My bet here is the heartbeats that are similar. Luffy asks if the Giants know this guy named Joy Boy that the robot is talking about. Well, no one heard anything. Probably Luffy is hearing the voice of all things. The robot then goes into combat because Jupiter goes after him. Finally, this Gorosei did something useful. The robot even tries to raise its arm to make an attack. Maybe a laser? To the excited eyes of Frankie and Sanji, the laser fails. Oh, and in this chapter, we have two more members of Shank's family, Atlas and Emeth, because Jupiter tears off the robot's arm. Jupiter and Warkuri stay to face the robot. Note here that Warkuri is recovered at Bumlike, so the theory that the robot could hurt him was debunked. Saturn jumped to the Elbaf ship. He says he won't let them escape, and focuses on Kuma and Bonnie. I believe Kuma will somehow rise again to fight against the Gorosei, or he will repeat what Atlas did. But what did she do? In the end of the chapter, we see that Atlas, who had already joined Shank's family by losing an arm, blew herself up, making Venushuru have half of his face destroyed. Note that Atlas blew herself up smiling. She did the same action as Pedro. She died smiling, worthy of the best characters in the work. Certainly, Atlas enters the group of best characters after this, a very dignified death. The end of the chapter shows the robot saying it's time to use that. But what would that be? Could it be a bomb inside this robot too, to delay the Gorosei? Could it be some weapon that could actually harm them? Besides this line from the robot, Vegapunk once again says that Roger's pirates are the only ones who know the truth. The pirates of Goldie Roger. The chapter ends with some prisoners saying, "How come Roger was a D?" Oda putting this final line in the mouths of unknown prisoners. There's something there. Oda is cooking up something with this scene, but we'll see. Well, there are still many theories that I will bring in other videos since this chapter was insane. Now I wonder one thing. Where the hell is Kizaru? What is he doing? Did he really give up fighting? Or has he not recovered yet? Or is he plotting something? So what is your opinion on this chapter? Leave your theory in the comments. I'd love to read it. If you enjoyed the video, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. See you next time, and thank you.